Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Big Damn Verse. Here we are, the town of Alisium in the Red Sun sector. Just another one of hundreds of terraformed towns, villages, and worlds that the Alliance has used for its own pleasure. But on this particular world, in this particular ball, in this particular town of Alisium, there's a story about ready to take place. A tall tale, if you will. Some might call it a legend. We'll see, though. But before we begin with the tellers of tales and the heroes that stalk through the pages of legend, let's begin where things always begin. With the Once Upon a Timer. And in this moment, the Once Upon a Timer is a man by the name of Mild Bill. Mild Bill. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I know what you're thinking. This one's a little bit different, though. It's red in color. Open to his waist. He's got a plastic lei around his neck as if he's attending some luau only he's been invited to. And as he walks through the streets of this western gulch town, barefoot, the red clay of the sand up his shins, his blonde hair bouncing off his shoulders, he points to everyone he sees, smiles, they smile back. Hey, Mild Bill, hey, how you doing? Points out at people. Comes by the Empress Hotel, waves, hey. He goes by the Lieutenant store. Some people call it a general store, but hey, it ain't got too much on the shelf, so I ain't gonna give it higher rank, if you know what I mean. And as he proceeds through the town, he sees Sheriff Sayah's jail. He waves, Sheriff tips his cap, and Mild Bill walks through the street, looks around, nods, because this is his town. He knows everybody here. And when he gets to the end, he sees his beauty. A saloon, a honky-tonk of ill repute and dreaming dreams. The Well. And as he walks up, he sees it. And the porch slats go down, and he grabs one as if he's dancing with a pretty fellow or a pretty lady. And he spins around once, hops up on the porch, inhales, breathes in that crisp, terraformed air, and pushes open the saloon doors into his Sancta Sanctorum. Inside, there's peanut shells on the floor, there's the smell of stale beer, but there's nothing better than the smell of stale beer unless it's fresh beer. And when he walks in, he yells out, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Cortisan's coming a-calling. She gonna be breaking Atmo anytime, and we are gonna have ourselves some fun tonight. Brian, Jason," and at this, two gentlemen come from the back. Brian, a huge man, maybe 6'5", wearing a cowboy hat and a tucked-in flannel shirt. Jason, smaller man with hair kind of in his face a little bit, not necessarily a Western vibe about him, but something that smells a little gangstery, a little outlaw. And these two guys walk up, the best friends of Mild Bill, and he looks at them and he says, "All right, guys, we got two problems. We got cold beer out back, and I need that cold beer out front. So you need to bring it from the front to the back, keep it in the ice, keep it chilled. A couple other things are going to happen here. We're going to have people pouring in through that door. There is no cover charge here at the Well tonight because we are giving away things. We are giving away dreams. We have the Cortisan coming. We have her crew arriving, and we are going to be dancing and spinning till the morning light. Get that cold beer up here. Get that whiskey out. I want these people to see that one or two drinks ain't gonna cut it tonight. Oh, no. This is a 5 or 6er. This is a hey, which way's home type of night. I want that night. I want that party, and I want it starting soon." At this point, a middle-aged woman comes out from the back. She has caramel-colored skin, and he looks and sees her and says, "Oh, Consuela. Oh, you are a sight for these sorest of eyes." And he jumps up on the bar, spins his legs over, and hits the ground, pads up, grabs her, and much like the posters he had out front, spins this woman that is the manager of the Well, because God knows Mild Bill is just a partier. He can't count cups or figure out when there needs to be more bottles of beer. That's Consuela's job, and she is good at it. And he looks at her and he goes, "Honey, I tell you what, we have got the Cortisan coming a-calling. Let us get ready. Get your best on, get your finest, and get to the comm, because as soon as they break Atmo, I want them to know we are waiting. This is time to go. And at this point, Consuela points to the end of the bar where a woman is sitting, sipping in a drink. Well, I didn't realize that we had company here tonight. And Consuela looks to goes, I believe it is your passenger that you wanted. Oh, my passenger gonna take a ride in the black and spin around this here verse on the Cortisan. I envy this woman. And he says it loud enough for her to hear. And as he walks over towards her, he says, well, what do we have here? And at this point, I would like Lindy to introduce exactly who do we have here.
All right. The woman sitting at the end of the bar, she is dressed in what appears to be some finer fabrics, some silks. She's got a leather jacket tossed over the back of the bar stool. Her hair is swept back into a tight bun. She appears to be Chinese, but with striking green eyes. Very attractive. Not quite middle-aged, but definitely not in her 20s. And she appears to be sipping whatever the finest that the well has to serve. And she kind of has her legs crossed, nonchalant. She turns and she goes, hello. My name is Lo Zhaoli, and you are?
My name is Mile Bill, and I am the owner-proprietor of the said establishment upon which your beautiful visage now sits. I see that you have a glass of our finest, only the best for my fair lady. My lady, what are you looking for tonight? Are you looking for a place to lay your head? If that's the place you need, I suggest the Empress down the street. But if you'd like to be in a place that makes those dreams that head on pillow pale in comparison, then you have come to the right place. You are in Mile Bill's well, where dreams are dealt and poured free from buckets.
That is very descriptive. Yes, I do enjoy a good shindig, as it were. Not looking to stay particularly long here on Alisium. I have booked passage on some vessel that will be leaving at some point soon, I have heard.
It is not just some vessel, I might add. It is the Cortisan, the finest ship to fly in the Red Star system. It is here and gone, back before you can blink or think. I booked only the best for you, my fair lady.
Oh, well, it is much appreciated. I cannot wait to meet its crew, see the accommodations.
Well, yeah, the crew, they'll be here shortly, because when they land in Alisium, they come straight to Mile Bill's well, where they drink a little drink, have a few dreams. But until we get to that, I was wondering, what brings a woman of your means all the way out here to... Now, don't get me wrong, Alisium is a pleasureful town, but it is out of the way, far from the core where... you should be.
Well, you see, I'm recently widowed, and I figured I should travel the verse a bit. I've been in the core for so long, it made sense. I wanted to get out there, see what there is to see. See who I can meet. I like adventure.
Adventure, you say? Well, adventure. That's something to drink to. Here at the well, we like to find things to drink to, and it ain't a hard trip. He jumps back over the side of the bar, spins his ass, jumps down, grabs a bottle of tequila from the top shelf, pulls the cork out with his teeth, spits it, pours himself a little, pours you a little, and looks over and slides the glass. Will you take it?
Sure.
Okay. He raises up the glass of tequila, and he says... There once was a toast that was made that said all good legends begin with some type of sound. A baby crying or a storm. I always like to think that the best legends begin with a clink of a glass in a toast to said adventure. You want to toast to me? And he puts it out for you to clink.
She will clink heartily.
And
I rather like this adventure toast.
and with that clink,
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out to the black, tell them I ain't coming back. Burn the land, boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. There's no place I can be since I've found serenity, and you can't take the sky from me.
And now, as the events down in Alisium begin to unfold and friends are made and legends toasted, we take a gander to the heavens above the name of the town in which it dwells. And there, just outside in the black, is a beautiful boat. Back on the earth it was, the sailors that crossed the seas in voyage or treasure, whenever they would ride those great wooden ships across the whitecaps, whenever a ship and a sailor were one, and that ship cut through those whitecaps without a rock or a bubble, the sailor said that that boat was gently making waves. Well, even though the Sea of the Blue has been traded for one of black, the ship that we are now watching, the Cortisan, is gently making waves. And as we rock around the outside of her, and she begins to glow a red-orange as she enters the atmosphere above Alisium, we climb into the front cockpit, and there sits a man dancing with his girl. Let me see, not you. There he is. Josh, the man behind the counter dancing with his girl. Who is he?
He is a serious-looking fellow. He has dark hair that is flecked through with white streaks. He has tough, sort of aged, leathery skin, but still deep lines of concentration that crisscross his brow. His name is Felix Stonebridge. He is the ship's helmsman, and currently he's experiencing ever so slight imbalance in the ship, which he's trying to smooth out. Everything about him is quite pristine. He's got that distinct, crisp look to himself, a white shirt that is pressed, and he has sort of that military efficiency to him. And as he is sort of wrestling with the controls, he's not alone. There is someone else standing there in the cockpit with him, which I presume is going to be our dear captain.
At this point, you hear as the bulk of Captain Brannigan, Captain Round Jack Brannigan, comes aboard into the bridge. The best way to describe Captain Round Jack, think Santa Claus with a long tan duster, a black hat, and perhaps a little bit more jelly in his bowl. And as he walks in, his long beard touching the top of his chest, the comm button lights up as an incoming wave identifies itself. And while the wave is coming in, at that very moment, the Cortisan breaks through the atmosphere, creating a boom. Because, as Mild Bill said below, legends begins with sounds, and a big damn boom never hurt. The light flashes.
Felix reaches for the comms, opens the channel and says, "This is the Cortisan, Felix speaking. How may I help?"
Oh, Felix, don't you worry. And it's Consuela down below, and you see her. Well, I need you to get down here as quick as you can. We have everything ready for you. As soon as you touch down just at the end of town at the normal parking spot. Mild Bill's waiting for you. The whole town's waiting for you. Oh, get down here.
Well, no need to make a fuss over little old me. I'm just looking for a parking space. Be with you in a jiffy.
We'll be waiting. And the line goes dead. And at that moment, a large crash sounds from down in the common area or the mess area. And Brannigan looks up and goes, I'll go check on it. And he goes down, and our gaze follows round Jack Brannigan as he leaves, passes through the crew quarters, climbs down the metal staircase into the mess hall area. And because this is a Firefly class, several of us should be aware of the long wooden table and similar effects of not a different form of decoration. This is another crew's home. These are big damn heroes, but not those big damn heroes. So as we walk in there, we see a gentleman who is quickly picking up foil packets of protein and beginning to put them away. Who is that person? Eric, as he's picking it up?
Yeah, so the one who's frustratingly picking up all the protein packets is a tall, affable-looking fellow with a weathered face, with slim black facial hair and medium hair tied up into a bun, and he's kind of currently just frantically grabbing all the packets, putting them into getting them all organized again, saying like, I can't stand when people don't put the right colors back. They're color coded for a reason, people. And looks up and sees a friend go by and nods, and before going back, muttering to himself again, getting everything put together.
Captain Brannigan leans over on the bar that kind of acts as the prep station here in the mess hall, and he goes, "Now, boy," he goes, "you're not busting up my favorite part of the ship, are you?" He goes, "Lord almighty, you know how old round Jack likes this place. I visit it every time I can cross by here." And he's obviously joking with you as he, "Look, do you need some help?"
Help? No. Captain, with all due respect, you're half the reason for this mess. Please, leave it to a professional. And I just put stuff down here.
Absolutely. And I'll go just make sure I'll make sure everything's okay. Everything's ready for touchdown.
Make sure, and as he's leaving, I holler at him, like, and make sure we get some new flour. I can't make dumplings with this flour.
Flour. I'll tell Harriet about that. She's best at that. My mind playing tricks on me. And this you would know as Round Jack Brannigan's way of saying, I don't do that type of stuff anymore. I'm too old. So I will pass it off to the people that really run the boat. And he continues down. And as he heads down towards one of the lower levels, another gentleman is coming towards him carrying a medical kit. Apparently hearing the crash and believing there could be somebody that needs some help. Dr. Rutherford.
What was that noise? Everything all right?
Oh, everything's fine. It was a vital import. The protein had fallen, and it was touch and go there for a bit, Doc. I'm not going to lie to you. It was touch and go. But we got it back. We got it put together. I think it's going to pull through. But I appreciate your prompt action here.
Well, so that it does, we don't need to have damaged goods. We can pay good money for good equipment.
Oh, absolutely, Doc. And, most of the time you say things that I don't understand, but that I understand. Good equipment, protein, food, equipment, fills the body, makes you feel good. And he claps him on the shoulder. We'll see you on the dirt, Doc. And he starts moving towards the cargo bay.
Dirt.
As we follow around Jack, he opens up into the top level of the cargo bay and begins to descend towards the floor proper of the cargo bay. And there's a woman who is checking the lashings and the bindings of several large crates that are labeled single seed. And as he gets about 3 steps from the bottom, he yells out and says, "Make sure I got my right camera here." He says, "Harriet, darling, Harriet.
Yes, Captain.
How we looking? We got seed ready to switch. Going into town. Looking forward to the well."
it's about time we head back into town. We're about to go and see Bill. Mild Bill. It's more like Wild Bill. Every time we go in there, he's up to some new trick. I don't know if I can handle it again.
Well, you know, he's a friendly chap. He's a friendly feller. And we need that kind. He's treated us well. Cortisan's running smooth. We are making money. It is nice here. And you see Captain Jack's face falls a bit. And he kind of saddles up closer to you. And as the ship's bumping a little bit as she comes in, you realize that as he opens up his jacket, he's wearing his finest red vest. It's got silk embroidery all through the front of it. And because of his large stomach, it's fighting to stay where it is. But you can also tell that he's recently shaved. His hair seems combed at the sides beneath his hat. His fingernails seem clean. And he looks at you and he says, "Tell me something, darling." He kind of puffs out his chest and sucks in as much of his gut as he can. He says, how do I look?"
Oh, Captain, I don't know what you got yourself all trussed up for, but you look as fine as the first day I saw you.
Oh, good. Widow Cooper, she waved me before we broke Atmos. Says she's going to meet me tonight. So good.
Say no more. No more.
Thank you. She's a fine woman, and she accepted my invitation for dinner and drinks at the well. So I'm happy. I'm happy about that.
Harriet runs a hand through her soft blonde, curly but yet messy hair and stares at him with her crystal blue eyes and smiles that half-turned, kind of curled lip smile at him and looks at him with the continued affection that she has had for all of their many days in the stars. And she kind of pops her blouse a little bit, white blouse, very form-fitting, and then lays a hand to rest on her side of her hip where she would normally carry her pistol, but she's in cargo, so she has no need for it right now, and taps a brown leather boot on the floor and smiles. "Well, as long as you two kids are back home before it gets dark, you think that we should be checking on the rest of them, making sure that everything's right in its place? I worry about our pilot sometimes."
I was just up there. I think everything's good. Bai needs flour. He needs flour for dumplings, or my mind. I forget all the time, and flour he needs. So I'll just tell you that.
He's probably just saying that he wants to spend a little bit more time with his dumpling. Not that he needs flowers for his dumpling. That boy's mind's always out in space, I'm telling you. You just gotta stop listening to them and just keep this boat flying in the right direction. We got a job to do, so let's get doing it.
I agree, but they are in love, Harriet. And Harry, by God, if we've got love on this boat, that's half the thing that we need here in this verse. It's just it's love, and I'm might envious. So
she puts a hand on either the railing that she's standing next to. "Love sometimes is all that keeps this boat in the air. Trust me, I know, honey, I know."
Right. And at that moment, the courtesan spins around and touches down into the dirt, and all of a sudden, sand and silt and the dirt of the heavenly Alisium settles around the boat as the cargo door splits and opens, and we are gifted with the sights that Mild Bill loves so much, and there waiting for them are several gentlemen ready to pick up some single seed. And as we bring everybody else back in here, ladies and gentlemen, crew of the Cortisan, welcome to Alisium as you have touched down here. Captain Roundjack Brannigan is on his way to the well, and perhaps on his way to a bit of a courting of his own of the Widow Cooper. And as he leaves, he tips his hat to everyone that pops by, spends an extra second to drop a large, meaty mitt on Harriet's shoulder, nods to her with a look that not necessarily is fatherly, but of one of pride nonetheless, because he knows more than anybody else who really runs this boat. And he climbs down into Alisium. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna watch him with a loving eye as he starts heading, and just thinking, just don't get too drunk first thing. Y'all ready to hit the planet? Get a little dirt under the boots, as it were?
Well, I don't like getting dirt on my boots, but I'm ready to touch down.
Well, let's head on in and find Bill.
I gaze at Felix and say, and while talking to you, Harriet, and say, well, it's my turn to look at the pigs, so I'll be joining up in just a little bit. Give me some none of that mother's milk. Give me something good. All right.
I'll make sure they hold the house special just for you, dear. Come on, look lively.
Shiny.
It's a special occasion. Our captain's going to see a missus. Y'all best look sharp now. Be on your best behavior.
Felix comes forth and is fussing over like a thumb smudge of grease on his pressed white shirt, grumbling to himself, and rolls the sleeves a couple of times to hide it, and heads down to stand awkwardly near his dear hubby. As things are a little tense between them at the moment.
Yeah, but I can't stand seeing my husband go out like crap. And so I can't stay too mad at you. And I sigh, I pull out a small little, looks to be some kind of like pen like thing. And I grab your sleeve and yank it down. And I go like, yeah, you can't go to town with a stain like that on you. Ugh. And I'm just like shaking the
It's the equivalent of like spitting on your thumb and like just like fussing over
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
And Felix just cracks a small grin and just says, well, at least we're talking again. I'll see you in the bar.
Maybe, I say, coyly.
I give him a slight peck on the cheek and just say, well, don't leave me too long. All these handsome young drifters in there, I mean, anyone could find me. And I give him a coy wink and saunter off the ship, weaving through the crowd.
I jokingly muse to myself, saying, "Oh yeah, it looks like my husband is also going to be around a bunch of pigs for a little bit."
I want to go and scope ahead before the rest of the crew gets in there. Just make sure. I mean, I know we're welcome in town, but I want to look after these guys. Make sure.
Sure, absolutely.
Supposed to be.
Harriet, what you see whenever you walk into town is it's a scene almost. It would be very similar or akin to the Earth that was whenever a port city would welcome in a cruise ship. This is a source of trade. This is a source of goods being brought in, of friends arriving back from a voyage. And everywhere you look, people are waving, Harriet! And as you walk down the street, it is very much a celebratory environment. And you see that the people, it's now sundown, and the people are beginning to come in from working the ranches. They have their various colored outfits on, denoting which ranch they work for. There's no animosity between the groups. It's just there are several large farms here, several large ranches, and people wear different colors to differentiate themselves when they're out in the fields. And as you walk in, you see everyone, and nothing sets your mind as, nothing piques your interest as a possible threat, but there, glistening at the end of the long dirt and red clay street, is the well.
Well, well, well. She says, making the same tired joke every time that we pull in. Looks like we've arrived.
So at this point, as your GM, I'd like to know, we have Bai staying back at the Cortisan right now. Dr. Rutherford, where will you be? Heading towards the well?
Yeah, I think just before we kind of touch down, he goes into his lab, goes into a little room and puts on his like long kind of like dark brown like duster coat, undershirt, pocket watch, does his like short brown hair, and shines just a little speck of dust off of his fine shoes, and starts making his way with the others as they go.
So the impeccably dressed Dr. Rutherford joins with the crew, and as they walk off, Felix is heading to the well. Harriet is already at the well, and Lo Jiali is presumably still there. So we're going to say that the 3 crew members that are on their way there arrive at the same time. Harriet just a little bit first as she pushes in with a well into the warm embrace, the motherly hold of Mild Bill's well. And as soon as those doors swing shut behind you, you hear, "Well, all right. And you see a man come screaming up to you that you know is Mild Bill. And he immediately looks at you for a second, like as if he puts his hands up in a dance position, and there's music already playing. Brian and Jason are strumming guitar and banjo up on the stage, and he walks over and he looks as if he's offering to take you in a dance.
I could never say no to your gentlemanly ways.
He immediately, as soon as there is even the slightest hint of acceptance, he rolls right in and grabs your hand and starts walking you around the place. You are a pleasure. When I woke up and saw the sun this morning, it looked dull knowing that the Cortisan was coming. I knew that the real fun would be from the PM to the AM and every in between. As he starts dancing.
Bill, you probably say that to every ship that lands in this port. I know you.
No, I don't. He takes you and twirls you around as he brings you back in. I only ever say it to you all, and if I say it to anybody else, I do not mean it. We have beer, and we have beer. It is all cold, I am afraid. So please, grab
Honey,
some of it.
now you're talking my language, and I think you're talking the language of everybody else in this room.
Yeah, they cheer as the people, and then at this point, the Dr. Rutherford and Felix walk in as well, and the party begins in full force as Brian and Jason drop into some just heavy, folky guitar up there, and people begin to dance, and it is only sundown, but the bottles, empty, are beginning to accumulate here at the well. And it is at this moment that, as you're dancing with Mild Bill, he takes you over, spins you, and you are now at the end of the bar, and he says, "Harriet, may I introduce your new passenger, Lo Jiali Lo. This is my fair lady Lo. This is my favorite first mate," he winks, "in all the verse. Harriet Dawson, Harriet, Lo, Harriet, Lo, Harry, Lo. We're gonna party tonight. Bears!" he yells, and they start sliding down the bar.
Well, hello, milady.
'Tis a pleasure to meet you.
And you as well. And I hope that you'll be meeting the rest of my crew mighty soon. And I cannot wait to be spending time with you.
Yes, I have heard many good things about your ship from Mild Bill here.
Oh, don't listen to Bill. He tells all lies. We are the meanest people out there.
I do
toss her
not.
away.
I'll never tell the truth.
If you're with us, we'll be flying straight and true, honey. Don't you worry about a thing.
Excellent.
Can I get you a drink?
I already have one. Perhaps you would like to join me.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as Harriet and Jiali sit down beside each other, we have Dr. Rutherford and Felix arriving at the same time to cheers and applause from inside the well.
Felix looks around, just sort of overwhelmed by the sights, the smells, the sheer visceral nature of the well, and gives polite nods to those nearby, and sort of almost a timid wave, and seeks out somewhere a little quieter where he can sort of get away from like the rock and wildness of the party. Offers a seat in sort of like a small shady booth to the good doctor.
He would take it, and he would look at you and just kind of say, "Well, it's not all bad. Cheer up, dear fellow. Let me get you a drink. First round's on me."
Felix just peruses the bar with a careful eye and says, "Something brown, I guess. I'm not sure entirely."
Drink, right? And he kind of smirks as he has a light brown complexion.
He He sighs deeply, a little color coming to his cheeks, and says, "That'll be fine. Yes, a drink."
It's at this point that whatever is the favored drink of Dr. Rutherford and Felix arrives via Consuela, who comes up and sets it down and puts both of the drinks down and nods and winks, and she points over, and Mild Bill, who has now taken off his Hawaiian shirt wearing only a lei, he has hung up the Hawaiian shirt as if it were a very fine topcoat, and he is standing behind the bar, and his arms are open wide as he is holding court, and he bows towards the back booth.
Forth, take a glass of it's supposedly top shelf, and the glass is supposedly sort of crystalline, but it has that kind of plasticky kind of feel to it. And he raises it up, looking at the chilled rocks of entirely legitimate ice, and it swirls it round and sniffs it curiously and says, "Well, it's always good to be welcomed home. Chin chin, as they say."
Yes, chin chin. I do love the spiced rum.
And sipping and sort of taking in the chaos that is enveloping, maybe a few sort of slightly feisty arguments brewing, and all manner of chaos that you get in the well every day. Felix just sinks back into the shadow and wonders what is taking his husband so damn long.
Which is a great segue as we cut back to the Cortisan as the lone member of her crew is busy finishing up the duties of said ship. Bai, what are you doing?
Yeah, so Bai's getting ready to say farewell to his Special Six, which is a group of 6 pigs, Lucky, Creed, Ryder, Bullet, Smokes, and Hustler. They're all super cute pigs, all brown and tan and spotted. And while they all look maybe identical to someone, Bai knows which each one's mannerisms very particularly. And but rather than wearing the clothes he's seen before, Bai has actually gotten dressed up. He's kind of like just petting the pigs, making sure they're getting some food now, and kind of like have maybe like a screen kind of open on the back part of the Firefly right now, so they get some fresh air, so not just drinking their own refined air. And I say, there you go, my Special Six. I know how much you like the that fresh air. Now I know your dad's got to get ready to go now, but we'll see what we can do about maybe getting you some special feed and you stretching your legs a little bit here on Elysium. And all right, so farewell now, and I get ready to walk over to the well.
Okay. You experience a very similar route, only this time as you are a little bit behind everyone else. And we'll say that maybe 30, 45 minutes of drinking and sun dropping has gone on, as the sky now is just more of a color of westerly purples and things. As you're walking, people are joining you. As you walk, they recognize you as a member of the Cortisan's crew, and they're coming up and they're putting arms around you. "Oh, how are you, honey? Oh, it was great to see you." And as you guys walk, you're kind of collecting a group around you, as bodies in space tend to do. And by the time you reach the well, you are the flag bearer or the band leader of quite a parade.
Yeah, so much for a sneaky entrance. I guess I'm just going to arrive fashionably late. So I guess, Felix, it doesn't take you very long to spot me being led in with an entourage. In fact, I probably, you know what I do? The doors slide open and maybe, and I scream like real loudly. I go, "Where's my husband?"
And Mild Bill goes, "I'm here!" And you see him spin over the bar.
And I go over to Wild Bill and give him a big old hug.
And
or Mild Bill.
And as soon as you hug Mild Bill, he immediately pulls your arm off as he begins to dance with you around the place. Oh, it is such a thrill I didn't think you were coming. You were in there with those pigs, weren't you?
Yeah.
I tell you what, having you here is the best. I tell you what, when I woke up this morning and I saw that sun, I said, it didn't look right. Not until the Cortisan's coming. And he's just dancing.
And I say, you are definitely a sight for sore eyes, Bill. Now, when are you going to teach my husband these moves? Like you promised.
I tried, and I was pretty sure he was going to shoot me. So I thought, you know what? I like my pretty body, so I'm going to keep it without any of the additional holes. So I will dance with you if you don't mind.
He's all bark, no bite.
Felix calls out from the booth. Speaking of your body, he's already had enough pork for the evening. Can I have my husband back?
No, you may not. As he continues to dance, but he dances over closer to the booth, and then he will spin himself away as he again bows at everyone. He then leaves and goes up on the stage and begins to play bongos with Brian and Jason as they bust into yet another boot scoot that brings people in lines to the floor as they begin to move back and forth across. And the bear is a-flowing.
I make
We're
sure
all
that I go
together.
around to all the crew at some point in their drunken shenanigans and remind them that they are supposed to be on their best behavior, Felix.
Felix just holds up like his hands in mock surrender and says, "You won't get any trouble from me. But Bill keeps playing that same out of tune, out of time riff on those bongos. We might have a riot in here."
Well, unless you think that you're going to be going up there and playing a prettier tune, just try and keep you and your husband's discretions just that discreet.
Well, they wouldn't be called indiscretions if they weren't.
As Harriet is saying, discretion's indiscreet, we just see Rutherford in the center of the dancing people doing the jig.
Oh my god, the doctor, when he's had a drink, is the dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Do-si-doing and shaking it good.
Harriet's gonna slow down on the drinking and keep an eye on all these ones.
As the night begins to advance a bit and as drinks are beginning to come quicker and quicker, Bill slides off and removes himself from behind his bongo kit as he goes over and he's strutting and he walks over to the table that's full of everyone. He tips an imaginary hat at Low as he passes by and he goes, "I will be right back out in 1 minute, my fair lady. I owe you a dance and I need to talk a little business with the crew of the Cortisan." And he turns around to Bai, Felix, Harriet, and the good doctor and says, "Now if I could speak with you all, but take but a 5 or 10 minute, I have got a new job for you and it is easy, it is quick, and it is going to make you happy."
Bill, you always things like to be easy, quick, and happy, and I think the rest of us are right there with you. So tell me all about this job.
Well, you are right about 2 of the 3 things that you just mentioned. The middle one, not so much. And as you guys walk off, he takes you out into the back behind the well, which opens up in a very Earth that was sort of South American, Mexican type of open air courtyard. It's very nice, inlaid, and there's a fountain in the middle of it that appears to be holographic as water's a bit precious here in Alisium. And as his bare feet are slapping against the stone, he walks over to a place that you know to be his office, and he opens the door. It does not appear to be locked. He walks in, and there is no desk, there is no table, there aren't any chairs, but there are several rugs and a beanbag, and he throws himself down the beanbag, and he says, "All right, we got ourselves another job, one picked out perfectly for all my favorite crew of the Cortisan. So you want to hear it? You want to hear it, don't you? You want to hear it?
Well, you know that we do, honey.
Felix
Okay.
takes a seat on like what is like a beach inflatable throne, like a Lilo throne. He just takes a seat because I imagine that's like the perfect mild bill furniture.
Absolutely. You can blow it up or stuff it with sand. It is in my office. He looks at you and he goes, "Now you know what? That prick Junior McNamara from the Dauntless, boy, oh boy, he was all over me. He wanted this job, and I said, son, I only got but wait 24 hours, and I get the Cortisan flying in here to Elysium. I'm going to give them that job because they are my number 1 boat. You, my friend, have just stepped in number 2. He was not happy. So Junior McNamara, if you see him out in the verse, is a bit of a prick. That's just a bit of free advice here from old Mild Bill. But I'd like you to know that easiest thing in the world. Gotcha, Miss Lo Jiao Li out there. She is rich. She's got plenty of money, and she don't mind spending it. So she wants to go on a tour of the verse. I wanted you guys to. I said, who's best? I told my Bill, and I said yes. And I said, who is the best person to show him around the verse? And I said, by God, it's got to be the Cortisan. I said, that's just what I was thinking. And I said, that's like we're in each other's head, and that's exactly what it was. So I said, Cortisan's coming in. Put her on the Cortisan boat. Boom, you got yourself some money there for God knows how long. She might be on a trip 3 times round. Who cares? But the other thing that I need for you guys to do is in system. It is in system. I need you guys to go out to Jubilee. I need you to go to the town of Perdition. All you got to do is touch down, open them cargo bay doors, pick up 10 ranchers that are moving from there to here, bring them back, and you got yourself your regular staple pay. That's a month's worth of expenses for your boat, done in about 3 days. You can thank me. You can say it.
You
Thank
are just the sweetest thing, Bill, and I don't know how we would get by without you. How would we get by without him?
Really is
Brother
nice.
couldn't. And you just hear shh as I start sinking into the beanbag.
That's right. That's perfect. Go ahead.
We will
Bye.
make your... Oh, go ahead.
Bai's not buying it fully. He says, "What's the catch this time?" And I'm
Catch.
gonna kind of look at him. I might be playing like kind of the straight man right now. Everyone's like, "Oh, it sounds too good to be true." I'm like, "Hold on, that does seem too good to be true."
Your flour is about to turn into whole wheat flour.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to have the very first roll of the campaign as we're going to see exactly... Yep. So what I'd like for you to do, Eric, is if you would click on whatever you'd like to do. You can do mental trick if you're trying to kind of trick him into saying something. You can do social persuasion if you'd like to just hear what he has to say. And any of your other assets that you might want to put into your dice pool, you can go right ahead and do so. And I will then go
Yeah.
over-
So it's what I was thinking here. I'm thinking of doing social influence, and I wanted to say that you would save in this job for us. We're so special. Don't be hiding us. Don't be skimpy on the details. You're letting the beer flow and let us hear everything while we're stepping in.
Okay.
I don't want to get my husband in trouble again. He's in enough trouble with me as it is.
Thinking about the pigs,
So,
obviously. I
yeah.
know. It's not about me. You're worried about your livestock.
So I do social, influence. Well, yeah, could it actually? Yeah. By that I did mean my pigs. So is there a way I can use my farm asset here or not, as a signature asset, or no?
Well, yeah, you could, in that you're dealing with ranch hands here. So I'm going to allow it just because you're wanting details about a specific job, and because this specific job does entail, farming aspects. Yeah, you can use it.
Okay. Okay, I'm ready to roll.
All right, go right ahead. You
13.
rolled a 13, and old Mild Bill, he only rolled a 6. So
Ooh,
and with that, you also earned yourself a big damn hero die, or a big damn hero coin, which I will give you. I will
He said
give
the
Eric-
thing. He said the thing.
There you go. I'll put it over there for you on roll 20. And so as soon as you start talking by narratively, how this happens is Mild Bill just starts smiling. You don't trust me? You don't trust old Mild Bill? All right. Well, here's the thing. You can't get off the boat. As soon as you land the Cortisan, you open up the doors. They're going to throw them in, close the doors, and you guys take off. Now, the rancher that I'm getting these people for has hired them. His name is John Milton. He's sending 2 people along with you, his accountant and his ranch hand manager. She goes by the name of Mrs. Paddock. Now, it's not long, 3 days there and back, so you won't have to worry about putting them up very long. But I don't know. All they want to do is open the door, you take in the 10. Perdition's a real kind of a tight-knit community. They don't like people walking around. They're kind of hilly. So they just want you to stop, open, accept. The doc's going to look over everybody to make sure, Standard Alliance interplanetary protocol, making sure nobody's carrying pox or some type of disease. He's going to look them over. Once they're clear to go, you all take off, dust off, come right back here. And that's it. That is the full truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God, here in the greatest of all places, on the heavens, or in Elysium, the well.
See, that wasn't so hard, Bill. Thank you.
It's
Well,
almost like it's
confident answer.
exactly how he said it the first time.
Well, there's a couple extra things in there that I don't like to fudge up the details, but some people are kind of they play their society close to the vest, and who am I to judge? I'm not a judger. I'm simply a proprietor of dreams, and that in itself gets judged a bit, so I tend not to judge others.
Does the lady have any special packages of her own, or is she just ready to come and set sail?
Nope, they're ready to go whenever you are. I told them that on the morning tide, young Mr. Felix here will be taking the Cortisan dancing through the black, and that is a dance that nobody wants to miss, certainly not myself. I hate to see you go, but I love to see you come, if you know what I mean. And
You're always welcome aboard the ship anytime you want to step back out into the black, Bill, but I understand you have your commitments here. As far as the quick change around, it shouldn't be a problem at all. I mean, in and out, as quick as a whippet. It shouldn't be too much trouble.
yeah, I agree. Touchdown, grab them, and come back out. I mean, who's to say? Now, we're going to cut back out to the front of the well, and Lojia Lee, as you're sitting there, you notice that the doors of the saloon swing open, but instead of the normal proprietors that have been coming in and immediately drinking and dancing, these 5 individuals walk forward, and they are wearing a deep red uniform that looks like what the ranch hands. There's a couple of the overalls that are in the well proper that seem to also be members of this same ranch, but they walk right past you, past the bar, and out the back door.
Okay, that's a bit odd. Can I how far away is the back door from where I'm chilling at the end of the bar?
You are at the end of the bar, and as we put up with the narrative or set up with the narrative, you're relatively close. Those back booths that Felix and the doctor initially sat in,
Okay.
they're right against the back wall, and so you can continue straight back, maybe 10, 15 feet.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of saunter on over with my drink, kind of sneaky-like, and see if I can keep an ear out or an eye out on him, because it just seems a bit odd, since I've been here for a little bit. It's not normal.
Okay, so as the door begins to swing closed, you stop it so you can keep it open and see out into the back area?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you look out into the back area, you see the following. You see these 5 gentlemen come up and they surround the door that it seems that that's the only place that has occupancy at this point, because you see lights on inside, and you see one of them go to reach for the door, and the rest of them are standing there, and a couple of them are rolling up their sleeves. One of them takes off a jacket.
Do any of them have weapons?
Not that you can see. You can't see any
Does
weapons,
it look
but
like they're about to shake somebody down?
it looks like they're gearing up for some very, very aggressive negotiations.
Negotiations, yeah, okay. I'm just gonna keep an eye out on them. Just gonna play it cool.
Okay.
Don't know exactly who they're planning on shaking up, but
Okay, so inside Mild Bill's office, you guys are all sitting there talking about the elements of the next job when the door flies open, almost being pulled off its hinges, and Mild Bill goes, "What the hell?" And at this point, 2 of these red-garbed men jump inside, and they reach for both Harriet and Felix. At this point, we are entering our first combat situation, and it just so happens that out in the bar proper in the well, Brian and Jason feeling a little feisty, so they're putting up a different type of song.
Okay, right, let's do this.
Let me see, my song playing? Let me get it up here so I won't be able to hear it too, because I like to play with these songs. Bow, bow, bow. Okay, so as we are, you guys pop in. Combat works as followed, and it's pretty nice. Initiative begins this way. I decide who goes first. And as the GM, currently Caspian and Connor Quinn, the two men that have just rushed in, grab hold of R2, Felix, and Harriet, and I will tell you what you need to beat here. Boom, 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 boom. Oop. And they are... So with a 9, I would like you guys to figure out what you would like to roll against that. You will need a physical, and you can have a fight. Anything else that might happen you that your particular character has, go right ahead and use it and let me know what it is and add it to your dice pool. Make sure to clear your dice pool off before you add stuff to it, as this is a bit of a bar fight.
They're reaching out to us?
They grabbed you. Yeah, they've reached out and grabbed you. So at this point, you guys are rolling to see if you can get rid of the grab and punch them back.
Okay.
Or whatever you want to do. I'm just assuming you'd like to punch.
Since the drinks are flowing, and it is a bar fight, and I have not been drinking, and if they are reaching out behind me, if there are any empty beer bottles nearby, I'm going to take both of them, smash it in his head. If he's reaching out to grab me, that's fine. I trust my crew.
Absolutely. In fact, you grab one out of Bai's hand, and you grab one out of Rutherford's hand, and use both of those to bring them together.
So that'll be a physical and a fight?
Yeah, physical and fight.
All right. And pool roll?
Okay, so you have a 4. What I will let you know is, at this point, if you would like to add anything to that roll, you can. You can spend one of your plot point dice and buy yourself an asset, which would be another D6, because it would be the bottles that you're using.
And what's my roll to beat?
Your roll to beat is 9, so you'd have to get a 5 or higher to...
I'm not going to spend a plot point on this, but I'm hoping that I have made enough of a commotion with the hopefully breaking of the bottles on their faces. I'll allow myself to be grabbed.
Okay, so yeah, they grab a hold of you, and then Felix, as they go to grab a hold of you, I need a physical, a fight, and anything else you can think of here.
Physical, fight, and focus. Would focus do me right for acting under pressure and sort of a snap situation? And
absolutely.
level head?
Yes,
okay.
I will allow it.
Fantastic. Felix. Felix has his husband sort of sat on his knee, I imagine, or just sort of like sharing the chair with him, and is a little slower up, but he's going to... He gets up and he fights pretty like he's quite clearly knows how to fight. It's just been a while. He's not the youngest of fellas, so he's going to try and sort of, as this guy goes for a grab for him, try and pin his arm to his side and just straight punch him in the gut, having a more sort of traditional boxing sort of style as opposed to Harriet being a bit more of a brawler. So I'm ready to roll.
Yep, go ahead, pool roll that. Yep.
Oh, that is bad. I have had one too many sherries, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So as you grab a hold, what ends up happening is one of the men, as you try to fight your way through, he brings his forehead in and he smashes it against yours. What I'm going to give you is, and this is a discussion, this is basically negative inspiration. It is a D6 of... Oh, Brew donated $5 for a plot point for somebody. Let's figure out who it was real quick before I... 1 plot point for Hustler the Pig. Hustler the Pig now has an extra plot point.
Oh my gosh.
I will give Hustler's plot point to Eric to use as he sees fit. Boom. Okay, so what ends up happening is I'm going to give you a complication, which means when they roll against you, Felix, they're going to have an additional D6 when they roll because they have, it's a complication called getting your bell rung. So you currently just had your bell rung. Dr. Rutherford, you and Bai now have a chance to do something as it appears that 3 more men are getting ready to come in and there's 2 currently in the room with you. As initiative works this way, I allowed Harriet to go. I allowed Felix to go. Felix, you get to pick the next person that goes.
I wonder.
I mean, I don't wanna be that guy. I'm in trouble enough as it is. Last thing I want is more trouble. So seeing this happen, sort of like me get my head smashed in, my husband, darling, dearest, is just behind me. He's up next. Take it away.
Bai, what would you like to do?
So, sorry, Bai's absolutely going to go in and step in there and wrangle this man who's assaulting my husband, for sure.
Absolutely. So you can physical fight and anything else you can think of. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, physical fight makes sense here. All right, let me clear my pool and get ready. Let's see. I'm looking at my hitch distinction and trying to see if I can leverage. Can I? Is there a way I can spend a plot point here for any benefit?
Yeah, if you want, you can actually spend. You have a big damn point that you can use here, which we'll say for the instead of getting too into this, the big damn point is going to be a D8 because that was what an extra D6. So if you want to roll an extra D6, just pick anything that's got a 6 next to it and add it to your pool, and I will take the big damn plot point away.
Yep, I will do that. I will spend that for the extra 6. Yeah, that sounds good. And then maybe I won't use hitched here. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, you can use hitched. You can use hitched because that is perfectly into. You can add as many dice as you want to your pool, and hitched works out perfectly because it's your husband.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. Then I'm actually going to make it a D4 so I can gain a plot point.
Gotcha. Sure.
Look at me being all crafty.
Look at you doing mechanics.
Yeah.
Like he read the book before the game or something.
All right, there we go.
Okay.
And I think I'm cool. I'm satisfied with this pool, so I'm gonna roll it now.
Save me, sweetie.
9.
Okay. There you go with a 9, and 9 goes to the aggressor as you see your husband get his bell rung as Felix is seeing 7 guys in the room instead of 2, and you step up, and what do you do to knock this guy out?
I think it's more like we don't see it on screen. It just the camera cuts. You just hear "Get off my husband!" Cut to a window, and you see the guy getting thrown out a window.
Perfect. Yes! Okay. And you hear Mild Bill laughing. I love it. As soon as he goes flying through the window. Okay,
smashes a potted plant or like a cactus. Yeah.
Yeah, lands right in a succulent. There's a succulent garden right outside. He just lands on it.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%.
Right. Okay, so you get to pick who goes next. The last person in your crew that has not gone yet is Dr. Rutherford.
Yeah, Conrad, for sure. Go. 100%.
Yeah, so I think Conrad, he isn't going to fight, but instead he's going to use the environment to kind of beat them for me. So I'm going to like pull a chair in a way, like make him trip over like a bottle, make him hurt himself as he's coming towards me. I'm like, no, please, please, take a seat.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to allow you to do because of the way you described it. You can use physical or you can use mental as your attribute because you are doing this as tactically as possible. So if you want to use mental fight or physical fight and then anything else you can convince me of. And you get a plot point, Eric, because you rolled with a 4.
I will use mental. And I'm thinking focus. I have keen mind. So being able to judge the situation at like a kind of like a moment's notice, where kind of I know where everything is kind of situated, and I know kind of what would do the most damage at the right angles, given the most kind of pressure.
You're Sherlock Holmesing this, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going full Sherlock Holmes as you're looking at everything. So go right ahead. I'm going to be very lenient here, episode 1.
You can do it now, but not after. And I think maybe trick as well, because I'm pretending to be like, oh no, I'm just a doctor. So I'm just like
Right.
pretending to be like defenseless.
And then and then you kick the chair out in front of him as he charges towards you. Got it. Go for it. Yep. That is the perfect definition of trick.
Oh, I did that twice. Sorry, let me clear that real quick. So, mental, focus, and trick.
All
and then
right.
I'll roll it. Pool roll, and then I'll do that.
Yep.
14.
There you go. So with a 14, which gives you a big damn hero die of a
Well
D8
done.
value.
Yeah.
Yep. You get that over me. See, where are you, Pro? There you go.
Super smart boy.
Put it right there. So, no. How do you take this guy out? As Caspian Quinn is charging at you, and you use the environment in which to beat him.
Yeah, so I'm just like, no, and I slide a bottle down that doesn't break, so he kind of like stumbles over it, and then I put a chair in the way, and as he's stumbling, his head hits the chair, and I move out the way quickly, so his head then slams on the ground, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'll bill you in the morning.
Absolutely. So this guy is stunned and out of the fight. Even though this is the end of the round, what I would do is, Dr. Rutherford, Pro, think about who you're going to give the initiative to as we come back around. It can be members of your group again. But we're going to cut outside real quick to Lo Jiaoli as you see them now burst through. And there are 3 of them outside. And one of the larger guys, a man by the name of Buffalo Tom Thick, reaches in and pulls out what looks like a Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife. This is a knife. And seems like he's getting ready to advance into the room.
Does there appear to be anybody nearby me that's armed in the bar?
The only people that you've seen carrying weapons would be Jason, the big burly, or Brian, the big burly
Brian
musician.
and Jason?
Yes,
Okay.
those 2 guys are.
Okay. Can I saunter on up over to Mr. Brian and Jason?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be like a fast walk saunter.
Okay.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I believe your proprietor, Mr. Mild Bill, is in a bit of trouble. There are some men with weapons approaching him in his office. I believe you might be invested in the situation and might want to check it out.
A banjo and a guitar hit the ground of the stage as these 2 guys spring. Their chairs and stools that they are on fall to the back as they run, and the big guy, Brian, begins to yell out, "Bill!" as he runs and bursts through the back door. And they get there just as we are applying initiative to the next round. Pro, who would you like initiative to go to?
I think we should just turn it back around and go back with Harriet.
Awesome. Thank you. I am going to take my pistol. I am going to first shoot it in the air. I'm going to shout out, "My name is Miss Harriet Dawson, and this is the crew of the Courtesan, and we are the best boat this here side of the verse, and you are making a terrible mistake bringing knives to a gunfight." And I will level my gun, and the closest one to Lady Lao Jiaoli, as I want to protect her, as she is one of our passengers. If there's anyone that looks like they're going to take an advancement on her, I'm just going to shoot them. I'm just going to shoot them anyways, actually. So, if at all possible, I would like to use a physical, a fight, a shoot, and an influence with a pep talk to get everybody to calm the down.
Yep. I will allow you to. You can either pick between fight or shoot. If you want to shoot, you're definitely going to shoot. If you want to fight, you can go ahead and do that. But definitely the influence is in there. This is like an intimidation.
Okay, fool, fight, influence. Do I add anything for my... Would that count as a pep talk? Is my specialization?
Yeah.
So how do I add the pep talk to that exactly?
Just pick something that's what's your pep talk value is a D6.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead and just add a D6 in there of something. Pick something
Okay.
that's a D6 value just so it pops up in your pool.
All right.
Okay, so you got a 9 all said and done. And these guys are going to roll a 5. So as you lower the gun towards Buffalo Tom Thick, where would you like to shoot Buffalo Tom Thick?
I'm going to just shot in the shoulder. I'm not aiming to kill. I'm just trying to make a point that we are being merciful and to settle down.
Okay, so you're aiming just for the meat. Like you just want to make it hurt, make it bleed, make him
Yeah.
stop, right? Okay. So Buffalo Tom is coming in with his knife just when your shot rings out. It takes him in the shoulder, dropping the knife to the ground, and his remaining upright companions all stop and slowly raise their hands as they see that this fight has escalated well beyond their capabilities of finishing, as they are staring down the smoking barrel of Harriet Dawson. We're just doing what we were told.
I'm sure that you were, honey. Now you're going to tell us what you've been done told to do. Conrad, if you go see the gentleman on the floor.
Of course, Freddy O. Stay still.
Miss Lao Zhao Li, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm just standing in the doorway, just kind of like watching. I am perfectly fine, thank you.
Perfect. I turn a steely, icy blue eye to gaze back to them. Someone want to check on Bill, make sure he's all right. And the rest
Oh,
of
I'm
you
fine.
had better sit down because you got some explaining to do. And I kind of put my gun back in my holster.
Yeah, at this point, Bill is still in the beanbag chair, and he's sipping from his bottle. Oh, I'm fine. I knew you guys had this. And then he looks out and he sees Brian and Jason out there, and he goes, "See, I don't get mad. I'm mild, Bill. I don't get mad, but when I get upset," he points to Jason and Brian, "they get mad. And then when you guys are here, you get mad. I sit here and do all the thinking."
Felix is going to just with his thumb slip the catch from his holster of his revolver and take a step outside to the individual who was thrown out of Bill's office. How is he unconscious at the moment?
He's coming to. This isn't necessarily like a D&D type of thing where somebody's out. Yeah, he's he's out of the fight, but he won't take up arms or anything anymore. But he's covered. You see various needles. There's even like a desert flower that seems to be attached to one of his cheeks as he pulls himself off of these cacti that he's fallen onto, and he's going, oh, Gosa. And he looks up at you and he sees that you're holding a gun.
I level it straight at his groin and tell him, "I'm going to make this perfectly clear for you just once. You make me feel like less of a man in front of my husband, I'll make sure you are less of a man. Do we understand each other perfectly?"
Crystal.
That's just shiny then. And with a simple twirl, he slots it back into his holster, gives him a nod, and heads back inside. Slight pinkness to his cheeks, genuinely kind of embarrassed, with a trickle of blood running down into his eye that it was, his husband had to bail him out and is going to go to check to make sure Bai is okay.
Yeah, thank you. Bai actually is going to be the one helping you out here and cleaning that blood off your face because Bai's totally fine.
Someone here. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, as I dust off your shoulders, like the clean yourself off and get the blood off your face, and I say, Hustler was a little ornery, and whenever Hustler's bringing up a mood, You know, there's always something bad coming. There's always a storm coming, you know? Should have listened.
As that's happening, Conrad's at the guy who got blasted in his shoulder, taking care of him, like Harriet said, and he just kind of kneels down in front of him, after he told them to kind of stay still, and he just goes to check it, but he kind of digs in the wound, just kind of make it hurt a bit, and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, clumsy hands."
Oh, son of a. Also, Brewhammer has given a plot point to Harriet because she's sassy.
Yes.
Harriet Dawson, and this is my crew, and we're here to punish you.
Okay, so yeah, there's a squeal as there is a heavy-handed approach to the treatment that's being applied by the good doctor. The man that was shot, the man by the name of Buffalo Tom Thick, he looks over at Mild Bill, who's still seated, and he goes, "You know, damn you, Bill. Damn you. You working with Milton. You know he come here from the Corps. You get carpetbagger. My boss, Prince Thayer, he ain't happy with you bringing in new workers. He wants you to leave that man alone. You know that." Bill goes, "I'm an equal opportunity employer. This man is legit. Your officer, your boss is legit. I do legitimate business here at the well. I'm not going to turn away good coin for somebody's personal political preference. I fought on neither side in unification because I live above unification. I am free and clear here in Elysium and in the well. I am a god among men, and I'm never among men. I surround myself with a pantheon," and he points to everybody else from the courtesan. "God's here one and all. So you go back and tell your boss that he doesn't need to get so pissy." Do you guys have anything to add?
You know, it is something to say that work is mighty scarce out here, and had Harriet instead gone for, say, your kneecap, which is slightly harder to replace, it'd be interesting to see how quickly you found gainful employment again. Maybe you ought to think about that next time you decide to hustle on a crew. I believe that's how you say it, isn't it, Harriet?
Something like that, honey. You said that they were part of a farming community here in this sector?
Yes.
And they were wearing red. I have noticed authority. They said that they were from a different political side and that they were working with one John Milton, who came from the Corps.
This group that came in wearing the red, they're working for a gentleman by the name of Prince Thayer. And Prince Thayer seems to not like this other ranch head. The ranch head by the name of John Milton is the person that's hired you all to go out to Jubilee at Perdition, pick up the new ranch hands and come back. It seems that this has prompted some political unrest here in Elysium, as this is a guy, a carpetbagger, if you will, from the Corps, who has come out here to make his fortune, and Bill is seemingly assisting him by providing him with contracts to go fetch workers for him and things like that.
Would I have heard of John Milton? From the Corps?
You may have.
Okay.
Yeah. John Milton is a relatively wealthy individual, but a lot of his money was made during the Unification War because he was a ration provider on the side of the Alliance.
Okay. On the side of the Alliance. Got it. Cool.
Well, now, I like it when things go smooth, and I really want this to go smooth. How about, before we take off, perhaps we go and talk to your friend, owner, master, I don't know however you want to say it, but maybe we could go and make bygones be bygones. Boss, that's right, boss, because you have to have a boss instead of being part of a crew. That must be mighty weird. Why don't I go talk to your boss and see if we can put all this trouble behind us so that you don't need to get shot again. That's awkward. That's awkward. You're going to have to go back and tell your boss that you got shot after you came down here to deal with the Cortisan and her crew? How's that conversation going to go for you?
Yes, how is it going to go, Tom? And lo, this voice comes from behind you, from behind Brian, and from behind Jason. as you all kind of turn, and there is a very tall man with salt and pepper gray beard, thin, athletic. He's standing in garb similar to a cowhand, but he does have a red sash that goes across him, very similar to what Buffalo Tom Thick is wearing. And he kind of eyeballs Tom Thick as he comes forward, and he says, "Get your ass out of here. I didn't say any of this. Just because you all pissed about wages doesn't mean you come and take it out here on my bill." And Buffalo Tom looks at him for a second and then nods, and he looks to Harriet to see if he's allowed to leave.
I nod.
The rest of them get together and leave, and the newly arrived man comes forward and extends his hand. "Prince Thayer, I'm the very first man to break dirt. My family has been ranching on this rock since it was called a rock."
Well, my name's Miss Harriet Dawson. This here is the rest of my crew and my family. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I apologize for what occurred here, but the point of my boys and what they were doing is not far from the truth. They're upset. Bill here is ferrying in outsiders to feed the competition that came from the Corps, and he spits to the ground. This ain't no place for them, never has been. They're coming out here looking to lay claim, plant their purple flags. Mild Bill comes up with his hands up. Just business, Prince.
How far out are we from the core?
A good bit. The Red Star system is in the same trip as Higgins Moon is part of the star system, so you guys are out a bit from the core.
Well, we are a little ways out from the core. Things are a mite bit different out here. I don't think we need to be bringing all them old grudges out this way. We could just be fellow humans, making our way. More people means more business, means more coin, means everybody's a lot happier. Less people getting shot. Might clear in my skies. I like it that way.
He looks at you, and you can tell, without a roll, without anything, he is unconvinced. As this man may be wearing a red sash, but if he could wear a brown one, it definitely would be that. And as he looks, he just tips his hat. "Ma'am, sorry that this was a problem that seemed to stem from my hand. I apologize. Bill, drinks on the well are on me tonight." And he walks up, and he goes, "Hell, they were anyway. I got money from him for that single seed." That's who bought that single seed? That was him. I was paying with he already did. It's like twice. It's all right. It's great. So you guys go back into the well and proceed to finish your evening, unless, of course, you have other places you would like to go. But I would call a commercial break at that moment, and we will fast forward to the Cortisan taking off the next day, unless you guys have something you need to do.
Any new shiny guns, knives, anything shiny?
There is a great big knife on the ground that used to belong to Buffalo.
That is mine now.
Okay. So you are in possession of a big-ass Buffalo Tom Thick knife. This will give you an extra D6 in hand-to-hand combat. So if you pull that knife and use fight instead of shoot, and you pull the Buffalo Tom Thick knife, it is now considered an asset. You have it.
All right.
Give it a nice little... and kind of slide it into my belt, making a scabbard really quickly, I guess. And I'm going to sit down next to Our Lady, Lao Zhao Li, and I'm just going to kind of give her a sidelong look and then look to the bar, and it's Harriet's turn to drink now.
Yeah, Zhao Li will mix up quite a tasty concoction for everybody if they're interested.
Yes, I would love to try whatever you're serving.
Right before we go to commercial break, we'll end with this. Mild Bill goes out, and it's getting to be about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night at this point. He gets out, and he gets on some type of bullhorn, like a handheld amplification device, and shouts out to anybody within earshot in the town proper of Alisium, and he says, "All the drinks at the well are on Prince Thayer tonight. If you are within the sound of my voice, everybody come on out here and get some drinks. And people just start pouring out, some of them in no shirt on, and different, just rubbing sleep from their eyes as they come pouring in by droves. And the music, the love, the memories, and the beer flow well into the AM. And so what we will do is we will cut to the following day as we are outside of the Cortisan as she is getting loaded up. The two individuals that Bill told you about, one Mr. Paddock and one Mrs. Paddock and one Mr. Casper Klein, the accountant of John Milton, come aboard. Mrs. Paddock seems to be, she's an older woman, weathered, but she has the look of a farmhand about her, someone that's spent an awful lot of time under several suns. Pleasant eyes, seems to be honest if you had to gauge from an initial read. Mr. Casper Klein is an accountant. He has a shaved head. He's wearing a tweed outfit, just a prototypical glasses. He seems to be constantly calculating numbers, and they kind of take a seat in the cargo bay and are put into one of the guest quarters next to the med suite. And as you all come in, I assume that you're going to give Lo Zhao Li one of the better rooms, which would be up in the personnel quarters in the main hall. And her stuff is brought in there. But before that, I'd like to ask Lindy how Lo Zhao Li arrives into the cargo bay of the Cortisan.
She drives up in an actual very fancy, top-of-the-line luxury grav car. She's got her leather vest on. And she drives up. She's like, I assume you have room in your cargo hold for my belongings.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Just tell me where to park this.
Right here. I say into the only open area on the car. You just go ahead and you pull that up on right here.
All right, she'll pull it up, park it, exit, reach into the passenger seat, pulls out a couple of suitcases, probably like 3 or 4. She just sets them next to the car, and she's like, now, where will my room be?
Why don't I let our good doctor show you the way to the room?
Oh, I'd be delighted.
Could you
This
assist me with
way.
my luggage as well? This is a bit much for me to carry.
Of course.
It's really heavy. It's really heavy.
I'm going to make this opportunity to leave and go see the captain. Important captain-y things I got to go take care of.
That's great. At this point, Captain Round Jack Brannigan comes in just as the grav car comes pulling up, and he looks at it strangely as he walks forward, and you notice that his vest is it's buttoned incorrectly. It's one button high on the left side and one button low on the right side. And he walks in, and he comes right over to Harriet, and he smooths out the vest, and he goes, "She said I look great."
I'm sure that you did, honey, and I slowly start fixing his buttons for him. Now, I want you to put on that same smile for this Miss Lady that's come on board, Lao Zhao Li.
Oh, honored. Yeah. He comes over and he helps, and he goes to pick up something. He goes, "Oh!" As he grabs his lower back.
Prettiest smile not to go and try and pick something up. You're gonna hurt yourself, you darn fool.
I'm all right. Oh, I ain't all right. And he starts helping out with his stuff.
I try to help him and let the rest of the crew kind of deal with it. I think lovingly kind of see if he's okay, see if he needs to sit down, anything like that.
Yeah, he's fine. You guys get loaded in, and within a few moments, we hit a montage of the Cortisan breaking atmosphere. Unless there's anything else you all want to do dirt side, you've been refortified with, you got your flour by, so everything is set up. And as you guys kind of, we hit what they call the montage of the Cortisan breaking atmo above Alisium. And as she's traveling through, we realize that, a day and a half passes. We see the Cortisan going through the asteroid belt that separates the 2 inner planets from the 6 outer planets. The belt is called the Mother Lode, and you see frequent mining craft that are out there because there are large mineral deposits in this asteroid field. And you guys negotiate through, and everything's fine. But as you get all the way through, you see Jubilee come before you, and it's just now dusk at Jubilee local time where you land at Perdition. And at this point, from the inner workings of the Cortisan, Mrs. Paddock and Mr. Klein come forward, and they are talking with the doctor. And Mr. Klein says, "Now, of course, sir, what we're going to need and what we're going to require from you is to make sure that none of these ranch hands are carrying any type of communicable disease. This was a legitimate contract arranged by these people. They are experiencing some form of drought, and they are trying to send as many of their people in system as possible to alleviate some of the pressures of the community, and also to send back resources and food to their mainland, so to speak. But we do not want them to try to press off the sick onto us. This is an act of generosity from my employer, Mr. Middleton." Okay, so apparently you don't care, Doctor.
Oh, was that to me?
Yes, that was to you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, not at all.
I just said to him, "Oh, of course, yes. I can whip up something to try and detect the any bacteria that they may be carrying or diseases before we get there. Such an event would be catastrophic, and plus the filth."
Of course, the filth. The filth is the craziest thing. He looks over at the pigs that are in the cargo bay hold. The filth, yes. And within moments, Felix is able to guide you all down into the clearing that was indicated as the drop-off point. And as the main entryway, the large access cargo door drops down, you see that there are several people on horseback out there with torches. And you see that there are 10 small figures that are beginning to walk towards the craft. And as they walk up the gangplank, you realize that these boys are no older than 12 to 14. And as they all walk up in and their heads are kind of down, some of them have even very Twainian-like sticks with handkerchiefs that you realize are probably their entire possessions. And some of them are carrying just very makeshift bags. One of them has a suitcase with a large hole in the side that another one of the children is helping. And they all get up into the cargo bay, and presumably the doctor, you're going to begin to look them over.
Yes. Could I, in the interim of us taking off and getting here, could I have kind of used my implements to kind of craft a kind of portable detection device of any kind of known diseases? Just kind of like a blood scan and things like that. And
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. In fact, Simon Tam had a couple of these things where he identified a lot of diseases. And if you noticed in the aerial episode, everybody would grab somebody's eye and put a device up to it. We're going to say because of the advanced med suite in the Cortisan, you have access to these things. So you're able to quickly kind of go through all of these. And it's the second to the last boy that when you scan, you realize it's not a boy, it's a girl. And the rest of you that are standing there, you hear other riders approach on horseback, and you see a large man swing off, maybe late 50s. He has a very long beard and he has bangs that are cut low, almost as like a Dutch boy type of haircut. And he's wearing a long robe that begins at it's all one piece, that begins at his throat and goes all the way down to his ankles. As he walks forward, and one of the other riders produces a severely beaten 12-year-old boy whom they throw off onto the ground. And you see the little boy looks up and he goes, "Go! Please go!" And at this point, Dr. Rutherford, when you look at the little girl, you see her turn and there are tears pouring down her cheeks. And the man with the beard walks up and says, "Release that girl. She's my wife."
I step forward.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of...
Nice.
No.
We're going for like
Oh.
10 more hours, Greg. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we just started.
You know how you marathon episodes? That's what I signed up for. I don't understand.
The bench right here.
No.
I'm
Yep.
about. Oh, you're
No,
lucky into
that's
the
fine.
episode there because shit was about to get real.
Fine, that's awesome. That's so good. Oh.
Ah!
Yep, so that is where we will end all of our shenanigans here in the Big Damn Verse tonight. But because we didn't do any intros, we definitely got to do ourselves some outros. So let's start as we cross. Pro, what did you think of tonight, and how did you like the boots of Dr. Rutherford?
It was amazing. Thanks for running it, Greg. Thank you for inviting me. Enjoyed playing with everyone here. Dr. Rutherford's boots feel comfy, almost familiar. Almost like a nice summer rain. It's quite delightful. But no, I am Pro Restarter. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all in the chat there. You can see me on my channel where I'm doing RPG stuff 6 days a week. When the schedule is kind of allowed, stay tuned on Twitter for that. You can also catch me streaming with other content creators on Twitch. As later on tonight, 1 p.m. GMT, I will be on off_the table playing some Monster Hearts. That's going to be super fun and super angsty. And other stuff throughout the week as well. But thank you for having me. And super fun, super great.
Awesome, brother. Glad to have you here. Let's go over to Miss Lo Zhao Li, who drove up in her custom luxury hover car. Lindy, what did you think?
I thought it was really interesting. This is going to be a fun system. I can't wait to learn it better and get to do more stuff. Lady Lo Zhao Li is quite the mystery right now. I'm still crawling into her silks, figuring her out. She's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait for next Friday. Why can't it be next Friday already? I mean, come on. You don't want 10 more hours, Greg? You don't have stuff prepared for 10 more hours?
Can we just keep playing?
Right. But anyways, I laugh, love Lindy. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter under such name. I do a lot of stuff. I'm busy. Sunday nights, every Sunday night, you can find me on this channel with the wonderful Greg playing Pulp Cthulhu as the lovely Dr. Greta von Kraus. Tuesdays, Tom's Ridiculous Podcast by Encounter Roleplay. It's super cool. It's super awesome. Tuesday nights, my channel, currently running Out of the Abyss. It's a lot of fun. Wednesdays, Encounter RP on their channel with also Greg. You can find us playing some Call of Cthulhu. I'm a super old lady, and it's really awesome. And then 3 hours later, also on Encounter Roleplay, playing some Star Wars RPG, and it's amazing. It's Star Wars. Every Thursday night, you can find me on WebDM on their Twitch channel playing some Dark Sun inspired D&D. Here every Friday for Firefly. And then tomorrow night, you can find me on Castle Mac D&D's channel for a little Kobold one shot. Also every other Saturday on Power Score RPG.
Nice. Awesome. So you're everywhere doing everything. It is the best. Eric, how did you like Bye? How did you like Hustler the Pig? Hustler the Pig got a plot point for you. That's pretty good.
That's freaking awesome.
That is a perfect return on a pig. An investment in a pig that gives you immediate returns like that.
Oh,
What'd you
yeah.
think, bud?
No, thank you so much for setting this whole thing up. I'm loving this. I'm loving playing Bye. This is my first time with the system, but I'm familiar with like narrative style stuff. So I was super happy to jump in and play up all these different things. I'm excited to see where this is going. I can't believe okay, guys. I play so many freaking games. If you don't know who I am, I'm in about 13 games right now. Like my calendar, it's just all purple blocks of streams. But like, I've never been more nervous for a game after I've seen all the production and everything.
My heart was pumping at the start of this.
Yeah, all of your work, that was incredible. I have to say, I'm so honored to be a part of this cast and crew. This is absolutely just next level stuff. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much, buddy. I'm glad that you appreciated it. I'm glad that I appreciated it. I'm glad the Firefly's here to be appreciated because, quite frankly, it's been gone too long, and this is everybody here, we're all wearing hats. We all can quote the whole thing. Everybody in chat can quote the whole thing. We're back. We're back in the black, and we're having some fun. So, yeah, we are back in business. Laura Lania, what'd you think about tonight? How does Harriet, how's she treating you?
I actually didn't know what Harriet looked like until I started my first interaction with you. Hadn't done a character, and then all of a sudden I was like, I realized everyone else had done character descriptions. I didn't think of it. And the way I stepped into this character is totally an homage to your game master, dungeon mastering style. It is just so easy to slide into character with you and your stories. It was fantastic. I have been waiting to play Firefly for 17 years, and I cannot think of a better crew to fly with. This has been absolutely amazing. I'm Laura Lanya here on Twitch. Mondays, I do my own campaign. It's an alternating Dungeon Master versus Dungeon Master experience. 1 week, one DM, one the other, one good side, one evil. After 2 years, we're hoping to have a battle royale where the characters meet in the center and destroy each other. Team Evil is going to win, obviously. Tuesdays, I'm on Encounter Roleplay. I play The Long March. I've been playing that for 2 years with over Encounter Joshua, my DM down there, and the amazing crew over on Encounter Roleplay. I'm also going to be playing the Midgard campaign, which is run by Kobold Press, which is a Wizards of the Coast partner. Very excited about that. On Wednesdays, I'm going to be joining a Vampire the Masquerade 3rd edition, the brand new 3rd edition that they just released. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully I get to play a set 8. Friday, I am here. I am also with Grant Ellis, Kiana, Marcy, oh God, Just a Summer Job, and Kelly, who's the opera geek, and we are doing The Life of Mard, which we also just got to play with Matt Mercer, and that was really freaking cool. And I also run a Discord 5th edition D&D Discord thing. It's fun. It's like a mud. And I also play Heroes of the Storm here in chat, and I really wish we could keep playing for like 8 more hours minimum. Let's go.
Awesome. Everybody, links are in chat as to where to follow these wonderful people. Let us, Heroic Logic, thank you for the follow. And finally, last but certainly not least, that's not your Twitter? I'll get the right Twitter up.
Close. I got you.
Okay. Oh, no, yeah, it's my, I got it. Hold on one sec. I will mod you. You can put it in there. No, never mind. Follow me on Twitter and I'll give you her Twitter. I got it wrong. Yeah, put it in there.
Deleted link.
Yeah. Okay, so Josh, what did you think, buddy? And how are you feeling about Felix?
Felix immediately started off too drunk to play, which was nearly me today. There was some fear because I got dragged out beforehand, but it was good. I don't want to blow too much smoke up Greg's ass, but when Tia first spoke to me, she was like, "This Firefly campaign, how good?" And I was like, "I've only played with Greg once before, and he's without a doubt one of the best DMs I've ever played with, because your Schult was just the most insane thing I've ever tried until this right here, because I'm so happy. I'm so hyped to be sailing with you guys. Super excited." So, and so far as me, you can find me on Mondays on the amazing Turncloaks, just generally suffering and being miserable, and the world just is a terrible, terrible, grim, dark, horrible place. So follow Turncloaks Pod. You can find me on Tuesdays. I DM The Long March, which is a blast. But if you want to see certain people get their own back on me, I'm then playing with a lot of those people straight after on the Midgard campaign, which is going to be one of I watching like the other players just delve into like this lore and the story behind it is just the most intense. So I'm super excited. There's 400 pages of world lore, and we're just like, this is the coolest thing ever. And you can find me on Wednesdays. I will also be joining a vampire game soon, which is super exciting. Thursdays, I don't do anything. Fridays, I'm back here. And over the weekend, I play with people in real life. I get out of the house. I go and socialize. So, you can find me around.
Socialize? What? What's that all about?
It's a terrible thing.
This is socializing.
Right. I just wanted everybody to know. Right. I wanted everybody to know that the video up front was made by our very own friend of the channel and Elijah Sawyer, Strider Heap. His link is in chat. If you need video, please go to him. And the cover of the Ballad of Serenity was sung by none other than my brother Glenn. Hey, he's a sanger and he's good. So there are links, and he is taking commissions. If you need something, anything, he can make it. It's amazing. So check him out if you need him, guys, because he can help you get those cover songs and that ambiance that you might require, something that you might hear Brian and Jason and Bill pounding out at the well. Anyway, I had a blast. This, as I said, was a labor of love. This crew is fantastic. I love them. Where can you find me? Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. Obviously, I'm going to be here every Friday. Coming early next month in June, in the time slot right before this, 1:12 to 2, Conan, Age Undreamed Of will be beginning. The cast will be announced for that next week. And we'll go right into Firefly. Let's see. And then, obviously, my opus to all things Pulp Cthulhu and pulpy in the 1930s, Project Athena, Sundays, 7 to 9. Gods will be gods, and gods will fall, but by God, we're having fun doing it. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brown coats of all ages, please join us back here to see what the hell happens on the next part of The Devil Inside as we see this crew start to get put to the test. And to quote Harriet, sometimes things go smooth, but sometimes they don't. So until next time, everybody, I'll leave you all with a little parting shot of the Whedon verse. See you next week.